Merry Christmas! What's up everyone? It's your girl, Flagger Nina, and welcome back to Flagger Bartending. Now that the holiday season is here, I'm going to show you guys how to make some boozy eggnog. And I will be 100% honest, this is my first time ever making eggnog from scratch. And let me tell you, it was so good. So that's why I wanted to share this recipe with you guys. Today we'll be making a big batch of eggnog that you can share with your family or friends. And then after that, I will show you how to make a singular eggnog cocktail if you just want to sip it on your own. So without further ado, let's jump on in. Okay, so before we jump in completely, I do want to say just a couple of things. First being, you can make this eggnog without alcohol. It can be a non-alcoholic eggnog and it will still taste absolutely delicious. However, alcohol does bring some nice characteristics and flavors, so I'm gonna be honest, it might not taste as good as if you had alcohol in it. Do whatever you want with that. Continuing talking about the alcohol portion, you can use any type of alcohol you want, but I would definitely suggest using some kind of like aged spirit, and it's most common to use like brandy or rum in eggnog, but you can make a killer eggnog with some bourbon too. And continuing the alcohol conversation, when it comes to like the alcohol content in eggnog, I find that it's not as high as like a regular cocktail would be. Also partially because of the texture. I feel like the more alcohol you add, the thinner it's going to be texture-wise. But a way you can combat that is if you want it to taste stronger, then you probably should use like a high-proof spirit or something just to make sure that you're getting that kick that you want. Okay, so now we are going to finally get to the tutorial on how to make eggnog.
In a pot, we are going to start by adding in some holiday spices. If you want to use fresh whole spices like I'm doing with the cinnamon and cloves, we're going to toast them on medium heat until fragrant. However, you can also use like powdered spices instead, and if you prefer that option, you can skip this step and I'll tell you when to add them in later. Then add in 3 cups of whole milk. Keep the temperature on like a low to medium and don't let it boil. Next, we're gonna separate out 6 egg yolks. I personally didn't use the egg whites later on in this recipe, but I did make an omelet with it the next day. Whisk the yolks using an electric mixer, and then we're going to slowly add in 1 cup of sugar. Basically, you wanna pour in a little sugar, whisk, then a little more, whisk until all the sugar is in there. This will allow the sugar to fully incorporate evenly with the eggs. And the end result should be a light yellow color. Next step, we are going to temper our eggs and sugar mixture. We want to heat our egg mixture up to temperature by periodically adding in the warm milk. If we just pour the egg mixture right in the warm milk, it could curdle the eggs like scrambled eggs, and we don't want that because that would be just a weird textural sensation. So similar to the sugar as before, we're going to periodically add in a spoonful of the warm milk into the eggs and whisk it up to incorporate it. And then we're just going to repeat the steps over and over again until the egg mixture is warm enough to be added to the milk so it doesn't scramble. And once the mixture is up to temperature, just pour it all into the pot and whisk everything together. Turn the heat to low and set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes. Throughout that time, check back on it a few times and whisk it up. This step will help the eggnog to thicken. Also again, make sure not to let the eggnog boil. I'm also adding in a half of a vanilla bean. That's the black stuff I'm scraping on the side of the pot, by the way. I just scooped it out and I put the insides and the pod itself into the milk to infuse. And just like the spices, you can just use vanilla extract if you want. After the time is up, add in a half to 1 cup of liquor. I'm choosing to use rum, but like I said before, you can use any type of aged spirit. At this point, the eggnog is pretty much finished. I'm just using some tweezers to fish out the vanilla beans, cinnamon, and cloves. If you're using pre-ground spices, you can add them in now instead of how I did earlier, and these are the measurements. And I'm also going to add in 1.5 cups of heavy cream. Whisk to combine all the flavors together. Now we're going to pour our mixture into an ice bath so we can cool down the eggnog. Whisk it up while it's in the ice bath to ensure the eggnog is evenly cooling. And that's pretty much it for the big batch of eggnog, and all that's left is just to bottle it up, and it should last for like 2 to 4 days depending on how much liquor that you add to it, and the more you add, the longer it'll last. When it's ready to serve, just garnish it with some freshly grated nutmeg and enjoy.
Okay, now let's jump into how to make a single cocktail version of eggnog. And our first ingredient is going to be a whole egg. Next, we're going to add 1.5 ounces of heavy cream. Next, we're going to add 1 ounce of gingerbread syrup. Next, we're going to add a 1/2 ounce of a 151 rum, or just a high proof rum. And lastly, we're going to add 1.5 ounces of an aged rum. So now we're going to dry shake this cocktail, which means shaking it up without ice so that we can fully emulsify the egg. Now we're going to add some ice and give it a regular shake. Honestly, this smells so good. Okay, and now we strain. And to finish off our single serving cocktail version of eggnog, we're going to grate some fresh nutmeg on top. I am so excited. I'll be honest, I didn't really try this cocktail version of eggnog before filming this video. So my actual reaction will be like authentic. But I am so excited nonetheless. So let's go ahead and give her a sip. Cheers. Ooh, this is quite good. You know what? This is actually so good. I will say, it's not like thick eggnog, but you can, ooh, all the flavors together literally taste like beautiful holiday spices. It's honestly like the perfect match made in heaven, okay? Yeah, yep. This fills every craving that I could possibly need in eggnog. Merry Christmas to me. If you want the full written recipes for both the big batch and the single cocktail version of eggnog, make sure to check out my cocktail blog, flaggerbartending.com. I also have a ton of other like holiday themed cocktails, as well as cute pink holiday themed bar cart decor that you can get for free as a Christmas gift from me to you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time on Flagger Bartending. Stay fly!